Hi everyone, welcome to Membership Voice. I'm Kero O'Shea, the coordinator of Voice and the host for this evening's webinar. A very special welcome to tonight's presenter, Assistant Governor Sharon Hamilton from Invercargill. Hi Sharon, how are you?
Good, thank you. Excited.
Fantastic, great way to be for these things. Okay, but important at this stage to acknowledge the owners of the land here, the traditional owners of the land here that I'm hosting, on which I'm hosting the webinar, the Whadjuk people of the Noongar Nation, the traditional custodians of the land here. I acknowledge the strength of their continuing culture and offer my respects to elders past, present and emerging. Now for the time that we've all been waiting for, tonight's presentation, Connecting by Satellite, brought to you by Assistant Governor Sharon Hamilton. Over to you, please, Sharon.
Well, hi everyone, and thanks for having me here tonight to share our Rotary Satellite Club of Southland story, to share with you what has been successful, what hasn't worked for us, and what is. So thanks, Kero, for inviting me here tonight. It's an honour to be invited. I've just learned how to do my own PowerPoint and have enjoyed learning something new and fun. First, I would like to introduce myself. My husband and I live in Invercargill, which is the southernmost city in New Zealand. It has a population of over 57,000, and our province is called Southland, with a population, a base of just over 100,000. So here's the start of my Rotary journey. I joined a traditional Rotary club here 5 years ago in Invercargill. That year, we had our club's Christmas dinner here at our house. And as you can see, the before and after, I set up those tables, and we had 62 for dinner that night. And if the 63rd person wanted to come, they'd be sitting on someone's knee. It was a really great night. The following year, I became membership director and president-elect in 2019, and then, of course, president. I then served on the district board as public image chair for the next 2 years for District 9980. And as you can see in these photos, that's Jackie. When I was president-elect, we were inducting her. Lee, that's my year as president, and when I was past president, Bev. And these three women are very, very special in my life because they also came over to the Satellite Club with me. Last month, due to a resignation, I took on the role of an assistant district governor 8 months earlier than expected in this area. My former Rotary Club is a proud traditional Rotary club that meets once a week with dinner guest, speaker, raffles and sergeant sessions. You know how it all works. I absolutely loved the experience at the club for the first 4 years. They're a great bunch, and growing Rotary has always been my passion. A year ago, something happened to my Rotary experience at club level. It made me feel disenchanted, undervalued, and I couldn't believe that I'd gone from being so passionate about Rotary to one of questioning whether or not Rotary was for me. It's not appropriate for me to go into details here. Suffice to say that I felt gutted, really gutted, sad and hurt. And so I asked myself, is this how my Rotary journey was going to end? My meeting attendance rate had always been up in the high 90s, in fact, close to 100. And at this point, 1 year ago, I'd stopped going to Rotary meetings altogether. That was just not me. I did not want to resign from Rotary. However, I didn't want to go back to my old club. So it wasn't a good position to be in. I'd spent the last 4 years doing everything I could to grow Rotary membership. So why would I want to leave? 2 months later, I decided this could not continue. It wasn't a good place to be. So I made contact with a well-known Rotary icon here in Invercargill, past District Karen Padud, and I know a lot of you will know her. She's one of those Rotary gurus who've done so much worldwide for Rotary. And on several prior occasions, I've heard Karen talk about a new Rotary model called a satellite club and how it offered an alternative way of meeting and running a Rotary club. Karen believed that creating new models like Satellite, Passport and E-Club were ways to achieve membership growth and to attract members from a wider, diverse kind of audience. Anyhow, so I picked up the phone and asked Karen if we can meet for a quick coffee. Right. Our 30-minute Coffee catch-up turned into over 2 hours, and I began to hear myself say things like, oh, we could do this, we could achieve that. Oh, let's try this, shall we? Like, wow, I felt like I got my mojo back. I was fired up, excited, and felt that probably this was right down my alley. We met a month later to explore further, and by then I knew that forming a Rotary Satellite Club was for me. At the start of this year, we held a satellite information night with prospective members, and it looked like we were getting close to getting our numbers. Momentum was gaining, and I was itching to get started to continue my Rotary journey, remembering how much I'm passionate about Rotary. Karen has remained with her current Sunrise Breakfast Club, so that left me to be the main driver of the soon-to-be Satellite Club, like eek. I knew I needed 8 members to charter, and by mid-February, we had all our ducks in a row. We needed a sponsor club, and a sponsor club is the Rotary Club of NRG in Invercargill. And for those of you who don't know what NRG is, it's the next Rotary generation. However, we do operate independently from them for our day-to-day running. Our official club name with Rotary International is the Rotary Satellite Club of Invercargill NRG Southland. I know it's quite a mouthful. So with that in mind, for public image, social media purposes, and ease of recognition, we shortened it to the Rotary Satellite Club of Southland. Our Satellite Club was chartered on Tuesday, the 22nd of March this year, 7 months ago. And you'll see from our Facebook page, we are project hands-on based, wanting to make a difference in our community for those less fortunate while still having fun. And I recall that date vividly, the 22nd of March. It's a lovely story that will always remain with me. It was our first club project that we had ever done together, even though at this stage we hadn't chartered yet. We met to do a big clean-up of a property for a young man who suffered from severe disability. And well, arriving at this property, we realised we'd probably made a big mistake. It was a much bigger job than we thought. It was a really hot evening and not the best conditions for doing physical work. However, we all turned up anyway. His property was incredibly overgrown, as you'll see from these pictures, particularly that one on the first left-hand side. And luckily we had friends, spouses and others turn up with power tools, electric this and that, weed eaters, pruners, brooms and rakes. And as you can see from the rubbish there, we managed to fill a large truck and trailer, plus our own vehicles with all the green waste and rubbish. We'd made a huge difference. We also learned from that first project, never take on a project without doing our homework. We were a bit naive, that's for sure. As that project was finished, Neville and I were just hopping into his truck and we were leaving the working bee. I checked my phone and saw I'd received an email from Andrew Best, who is the supervisor for club and district support in Parramatta, Sydney, Australia. He was writing to congratulate us on establishing our new Rotary Satellite Club. Like, woohoo! I couldn't wait to share the news with everyone. We've been waiting for this moment. So we were heading off to our local hotel to reflect and relax. It was fantastic to be able to share the news with my club mates, and there were lots of grins and lots of high fives. We remind each other constantly that we are all different. We have different skills and abilities and levels of fitness. We're all different ages. And most importantly, that we are volunteers and here to enjoy the experience. I think it's really important we always remember that in Rotary. And if a family member has work commitments, and we never want them to feel guilty or worry about that they aren't pulling their weight, family and work must come first. And our motto is, turn up when you can, do what you can. Currently, I am the chair of our Satellite Club. A Satellite Club, you might be interested to know, doesn't have a president as such. However, the roles to me are just the same. I believe my role is to lead and guide members, listen to their ideas and make them feel valued and heard. And I think it's really important that people feel valued and heard. To keep up enthusiasm and lead by example, and of course to share the knowledge that I've learned in the last 5 years. We meet once a month and I consider it as our club's monthly health check. At our meetings, we do not have things like a guest speaker, sergeant's fine, members' 3-minute talk, raffles, and meal costs, etc. I send out a monthly agenda, and at our meeting, we discuss our upcoming projects. We reflect on completed projects and review how the club is running. We ask ourselves what we should change, that everyone is happy with our current format. Is communication working? Now, that's an important one. Jackie in our club does an incredible job taking the minutes, and these are emailed out usually the next day with lots of to-do and checklists for each club member. So it's fair to say we're still a professional bunch, just doing things in a different way. Because our membership is small, we decided earlier on not to set up committees like you've got in a traditional club, like fundraising, foundation, projects, youth and social events. There is no board as such. We are all the board. So that's quite refreshing. Our bylaws and constitution are aligned with NRG, and that makes it very simple for us. And we talk about these things at our monthly meetings as and when they come up. We're lucky because we're not weighed down by all the admin and reporting that RI require. That is all done by our sponsor club, NRG. We're a work in progress, and you'll hear me repeat that phrase several times during this presentation. This is all new territory for us. There is no manual. So, Kira, you'll be glad to hear that I'm going to talk now about that first aha moment. Up until now, our aha moment had not occurred. And I know that's one of Kira's favourite sayings. Our first aha moment was at our Conan Street project 4 months earlier. That is when we knew we'd come together as a team. The aha moment made us feel triumphant, buzzing, and a huge sense of achievement. So I'll just show you that one. You're now looking at the slides of Conan Street cleanup. And if you look at the second video slide, and then the one on the fourth one, that's the difference. You can see the clothesline there and the clothesline there. It was a great job that we did. It was a biggie, it was achievable, and we arrived with a plan this time. We were learning. So it's not what happened before at that project. It's what happened after, when we all got home that day to our individual homes. And seriously, our messenger page did go ballistic. It really did. The banter was really special, and words can't express the feeling amongst us all. Just find where my cursor is, guys. Here we are. All righty. I'll go back to the aha moment later, though. So this is our Rotary Day of Environment Day of Action. The 6 Rotary clubs met together for a clean up. That was in September of this year, and there was 1,200 kgs of rubbish collected. It was a lot of rubbish. The next 4 slides are of our big Rotary charity garage sale held just over a week ago. And it was 2 months of working bees, picking up donated goods, sorting, cleaning, and pricing. We worked really hard over those 2 months. And on the week of our garage sale, it took us 4 days to set up. And this is 2 days out before the garage sale, with still a lot of work to do. It looked absolutely fantastic on the day, and we raised $4,500. Not bad for a small team of 9 people. Look at that. Those little lamps there, I got 4 messages from people wanting to buy them from Christchurch, Balclutha, and up in the North Island. It was amazing. Good old social media. So it was a huge project, and we were all very pleased at how successful it was, and very pleased that it's over as well. And now I'm going to share with you some of the banter of when we got home that day and on Sunday on our private messenger page. Chris says, just want to say you guys are awesome. We all work tirelessly, and I'm proud to be in this club with you all, about to have a beer. Marie, it was worth it when you see the end result. Jackie, thanks, Chris. Everyone worked their collective butts off. So proud of us. Looking forward to the total tally up. I will sleep well tonight, having a wine. Lee, with you on this, Chris. Please be part of this awesome team. Dave, can't believe we pulled it off finally after all the working bees. Been a lot of hard work, guys, but so proud to be part of this. And so on it went on our messenger page. Me, good morning, wonderful, amazing team. I had a sleep in this morning. What an incredible effort from the entire team. We've all pitched in over the last couple of months and dug deep this week to pull off a very successful event. So, who wants to guess what the final garage sales figure was? And then they all start guessing. So that set them off. The banter went on for another couple of hours, reflecting and guessing. Then finally me. Chris, you got the closest. Your prize is just to let us know when the date is for the next one. Chris, next one? Oh, that's the year after I leave town. LOL. Jackie, chicken. Chris. Bev replies, I'm coming with you, son number 4, just to let you know so I can have my passport up to date. Chris, it'll be a one-way ticket, LOL, and on it went. So I'm sharing that with you just to let you know that was our aha moment again, that the team just went into overdrive. And as you can probably tell, our messenger page really works for us and we couldn't be without it. This is Kiwi Harvest. Kiwi Harvest is a food rescue company that we align ourselves with, and this food would otherwise be going to landfill. On the right-hand side, there's Marie and I sorting through a couple pallet loads of apples, which were going into boxes, and a couple of girls were hiding who don't like their photos being taken. Here's another working bee with Lee, Bev and Dave, and they found a trampoline hidden in this grass. And there on the right-hand side, you'll see where it's been taken away and loaded onto trucks. So since chartering in March, we met regularly face-to-face to discuss our identity. Some of the items we needed to consider were things like, what is our mission statement? What organisations should we align ourselves with? What are our aims and values? How often we meet and monthly is working for us? What shall we call ourselves? And what means of communication should we use? Communication has played a pivotal role in our success. We were also aware that who we are now will probably be not who we are in, say, a year's time. Again, we are a work in progress. We will learn from our mistakes and successes. I'd like to reflect back on how we started out. Due to the fact that we only meet once a month, we became quickly aware that our members needed to be kept engaged and that effective communication would play a pivotal role. So at our next meeting, we discussed how could we achieve this. We initially started out using email, but quickly discovered that it was not effective at all. It was too slow to get results. Often there were too many emails and replies or responses got lost through the different threads, and particularly if another subject was introduced into that email. You know how it goes. Nightmare. So we spoke about this at our next meeting and set that up in a private messenger page, and that's what's working for us at the moment. Our private messenger page often entails members engaging in light banter, and hardly a day goes by without some form of chat. So that's pretty incredible when you think about it. You know, you might go to your weekly meetings, and that might be, you might only talk to members week to week. We actually talk to each other, most of us, every day. And I believe this makes our members feel connected, engaged, and valued. So it's become a successful, effective form of communication for us. It's an excellent means also for our members to have their say, feel comfortable to voice their opinion or vote on something. However, a couple of months ago, we realised we had another problem on communication. We realised that some members would be on Messenger all day, whereas others would get home and not check their social media until that time. By then, threads and ideas had gone stale, exhausted, or been dealt with. And by then, a lot of the comments were way off track. So to rectify that, we set up another private messenger page, and we've called this our satellite notice board. So that uses things like times that we meet, important notices that no one wants to miss. And our members understand that this is a read-only notice board. and that any comments they wish to make need to go on our day-to-day messenger page. Regarding the email again, we agreed that email messages should only be used for formal, longer, or educational posts, like sending out something on the Rotary Foundation, maybe end polio, or a message that I found off the RI website that I want to keep the new members educated. However, to some of our members, that doesn't mean an awful lot at present. They haven't seen or experienced that bigger picture for Rotary and the opportunities that Rotary offers. And I believe, that'll come in time. Right now, they're enjoying meeting a whole new set of friends, making connections and networking. They're good at chatting on Messenger, phone calls, socialising, and sharing what's happening in their world. And that's what's important right now. Already, there is a sense of loyalty amongst ourselves, a sense of achievement, and there's certainly a sense of pride. Facebook went live at the start of July when we felt we had some momentum building, and I run this page. Gosh, it's hard to believe it's only 4 months ago. So it would be great, guys, if you could head on over to our Facebook page, like and follow us, look out for the Rotary Satellite Club of Southland, and I'd be happy to do the same to your club's page. Just send me a private message, either under my name, Sharon Hamilton, or on our Rotary Satellite Club of Southland. Getting back to social media, we have no plans to start up an Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, or TikTok, despite the latter TikTok gaining momentum and being one of the fastest growing platforms among younger people. Right now, I only have time to keep up with posting to Facebook and figure it's best to do something well than to do a lot of things mediocre. The average age of our club membership is probably around the mid-50s at this stage. I'm now the third oldest at our satellite club, whereas in my previous club, I was the third youngest when I joined Rotary 5 years ago. We use the F word a lot. No, not that one. Fun, having fun. Our main goal is to have fun and make a difference in the community. When we look at a project, we use the criteria that it should be helping those in our community who need it most. Hands-on projects create a great opportunity for us to connect and to get to know each other in what always feels a very relaxed way. It's what creates our aha moment. It's not about the actual hand-on doing, it's what we get out of it ourselves. And I repeat those aha words. It's a feeling of that triumph, buzz, a sense of belonging, and a sense of achieving. These are things that money cannot buy. You can't put a price on it. Honestly, you can't. It's priceless. It really is. As I pointed out in the beginning, we needed 8 members to charter our satellite club, as opposed to the 20 required to charter a traditional Rotary club. Our club was initially made up of myself and 3 existing members of Rotary who transferred to satellite with me, plus 2 returning alumni and 2 members who are totally new to Rotary. The other 3 members who transferred with me to satellite, who you saw on the original post, they had their own reasons for wanting to change. But had the satellite option not been available to the 4 of us, sadly, Rotary would have had lost 4 members, including myself. Instead, we were able to transfer to satellite. That took our membership to 8 when we chartered in March this year. Another new member joined us in August, which took us to 9. We have 2 new members joining our satellite club that we will be inducting at our next meeting. Next week it will be. And another 2 have indicated that they too would like to become members of satellite. So when that happens, it'll take our membership to 13. Woohoo! And our membership will have grown by over 60% in 7 months. So these are people who want to volunteer and they are totally new to Rotary. Our entire club at present is the board, if you like to think of it that way. We have myself as the chair and Jackie as our treasurer. I think we've created a culture and environment where we are all on equal footing, an environment where everyone is entitled to their opinion and should feel comfortable to voice it. And they do, believe you me. And you know what? It's healthy, and I love it. I love it when they're just honest. Otherwise, how can we move on? How can we improve things? Our Rotary Club is a service club. Our main focus is hands-on and doing things. We are not a fundraising or dinner club. All satellite clubs around the globe will have different aims and identities, but this is ours. And as you can probably imagine now, our membership growth has not happened overnight. As I said before, it's taken us 7 months to get this far on our journey, and we are learning all the time. I think we're very flexible, perhaps due to our size, and we've already chatted about our future growth and where this will take us. Right now, we want to stay as a satellite club for another year or so, find our feet and reassess later. As we grow, we will learn to adapt and perhaps change how we currently operate. So it's important to keep up those monthly health checks. Keep asking, is everyone happy? What's working and what's not, and what needs tweaking? Again, we are work in progress. Our future growth. We believe our future growth will not come from members of existing clubs. All satellite clubs will differ around the globe. Our satellite club, I believe, offers a new product, people who would not normally contemplate joining Rotary. Be that for financial reasons, maybe the time poor, not wanting to be part of what might be perceived as a dinner, lunch, or breakfast club, or purely because this model of Rotary appeals more to them. We will learn to be flexible as we continue to grow. We'll keep telling our story, showcasing that we are people of action and that we're adhering to Rotary's mantra, service above self. We'll continue to tell our story via Facebook, local newspapers, friends and family. And as I said, where we are today is not where we will be tomorrow. I'd just like to say thank you, and I hope throughout this presentation you have noticed our Satellite Club is about our team effort and not myself. I'm so proud how our team is developing, evolving and learning. It makes me feel quite emotional, actually. It has been a combined team effort, and I'm very blessed and very lucky that I have a diverse team behind me with so many talents, skills and attributes. We have come together as a team. We've got some exciting new membership growth happening in the background, and I can't wait to see where we are in 12 months' time. So thank you for listening. I'll stop the video down here now.
Thank you, Sharon. Well done. Well done. Great presentation. Julie Burgess has got a question that I think I'd want to build on here. And over to you, please, Julie.
Hi, Sharon. Thank you for that. Interesting you're from Invercargill. I lived there not too long ago, but I'm now across the ditch. I'm interested, and I see somebody else has asked a question around fees.
Okay, good question. Our subs are the same as NRGs, except theirs was $275 and they didn't give to the foundation. So we discussed that, and that $50 went down, made our fees $225. And I worked it out. By the time you paid RI, the magazine and all those other associated costs, that came to $219, and $6 was left to go back to NRG. So NRG, it's up to them what they do with their money. From our garage sale, we passed a motion, and $50 per head is going back to the Rotary Foundation from our garage sale fundraising.
Thank you.
Super. Lisa Hunt, interesting take on those words there. Did you have something to add to that question?
Sharon, hi, Lisa. So I'm in Brisbane at the moment, but pretty much Gold Coast to Northern New South Wales. So I've put in there sort of how you have the conversation about Rotary dues, because obviously going through your presentation, your project hands-on, not that dinner club, not that fundraising club. So because a lot of people can actually join groups and do good without paying any dues. So why are they choosing the satellite club? So what is that extra value that they're getting out of it, to see that return on investment of that 225 New Zealand dollars?
That's a really good question, and that is something that we will need to be working on next year. At this stage, our members are just happy to be part of Rotary and happy to be part of Satellite because, like I said, they don't get the bigger picture. And once they go to conference and they get some educational background and learning, that's when they'll really understand what the bigger picture and the opportunities that Rotary offers.
So are they on, sorry, one quick extra question. Are they all logged into My Rotary so they can access the Learning Centre or not yet?
Some are, probably some aren't, the new ones.
Okay. Thank you.
I want to come back to member development and education in a moment, but Jane Pennington has a question about relationships, and I think we should go there next. Over to you, please, Jane.
Thank you. I'm in Melbourne, in Australia. I was just wondering, how does your relationship work with your sponsor club? Do you not report to them, but, well, I don't know if that's too formal, but do you liaise with them? Do you talk to them?
I keep in touch with Andy, the president of NRG, regularly. Funnily enough, because they're such a young group, Andy kind of shared with me, he sees us as the parent and there's them as the younger ones. And we go to their board meetings or meetings, or I do, and when we're invited, and Andy also comes to ours. So again, that's a relationship that we will foster more next year. This year, it's just been, to be honest, about our 8-9 members getting to know each other, interacting and enjoying that development amongst each other and that aha moment. So I hope everyone kind of understood what I meant from that. It's one of Kiro's favourites.
Oh, yes, I understood that. I was just wondering if it was a more formal relationship that you have to have with your sponsor club.
No, not at all. Not at all. We just go along and do our own thing as they do, and they've got the board, whereas we don't.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thanks, Jane, and thanks, Sharon, and before that, thanks, Lisa. There are some crunch issues that cost us new members, particularly cost us new members unnecessarily, and one of those issues is the job that we do, and Lisa touched on this, the job that we do providing education development to those members. You kind of touched on it, and I know we've talked about it, but how is the Southland Satellite really addressing that issue?
I spoke to that with the new district board of 9999 and said that will be a problem that my club and all new members in Rotary will face if there's no educational programs like RLI available. And I do know that is being talked about and worked on. It probably won't come to fruition until next year, but I know education is so important and to retaining members and keeping them engaged.
Thanks, Sharon. Member centricity. Jessie Harmon, in February of this year, put out a challenge to all of our clubs in the zone to say, your club needs to be member-centric. In other words, you've got to be thinking about individual members and the value and experience that they get out of Rotary instead of forcing the square pegs to fit into round holes and that sort of stuff. So how are you taking that into consideration with your ongoing development of the club? Member centricity.
Really good question. I believe that we need to make members always feel valued and listened. And the group that we've got, I think we value each other and our opinions anyway. And because we're small, we are flexible, and no one in our group is afraid to voice their opinion. It's very, very healthy, and they're being heard. And I think that's really, really important that you are heard. And if you're not, well, you've got trouble coming.
Very true. Very true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another one. I'm in my district's RILO team, and I believe that youth programs are something that we don't utilise well in terms strategically for Rotary. I appreciate you said that your average age is people in the mid-50s, so they're older than would be eligible to attend things like RILO. But how have you thought about how you might use Rotary youth programs to develop a community and perhaps prepare people to be members of the satellite?
No, not really, to be honest.
one of the issues for Rotary clubs can be that you have an impressive leader, and I put you in that category, but others may still be, on the journey through life and may not necessarily bring the same capacity to bear. How are you going to manage that into the future with your club in terms, I suppose, of future leaders being a bit overawed or whatever? Very open question.
I've already started scouting around for the next person to be chair, and just sort of asking the question with different people, various people, where they're at in their life. And I think it's a fantastic opportunity for whoever steps into my shoes for self-development, and we'll have a great team around them anyway, and a lot of support. So I know I will need to let go in June when we have this sort of changeover. I was actually originally thinking maybe 2 years. However, the assistant district governor role has come up, and I do realise I need to let go and really focus on that. And I know we've got several people in our club, and there's also new members coming along with huge skills and abilities, and they'll just offer different leadership and be refreshing. So no, not worried about that at all.
Let's go over to Julie Burgess.
That's more a comment, but I got the feeling from Sharon when she talked about the club was small and all members being on the board. I'm part of a traditional club, and all our members are on the board too. And what we've found is that is a vital tool in communication, because we're all involved in the decision making. My former club, which much larger than the one that I'm in now, we had your traditional board, etc. And one of the challenges that we faced, and I'm not saying we did it poorly, but one of the challenges that we faced was the interface between decisions at board level or at the trust level, because there was also a trust group, and all of the members. And certainly I would endorse what you do at the moment, even if you get bigger, because we in fact have attracted new members as well, and much bigger than what we were, but the board concept of the whole club is still working really well and will continue to do so.
Oh, that's awesome to hear, Julie. Like, I think everyone being part of the decision making it's great. And coming from that traditional club, sometimes there isn't transparency, or the communication and what's happening isn't passed on to club members, whereas everyone knows what's going on. It sounds like, well, everyone will know what's going on with you. And yeah, so it's good to know. How many members have you got in your club?
Well, we had 15, lost 2 because they shifted, but we've just gained 7 in the last 6 or 7 months. So we've now got, we will induct the final 2 at our next meeting. We only meet twice a month, so that will give us 20.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really pleased to hear that being the board is working for you, because it's working for us. Yeah.
Yep.
Super. Thank you, Julie, and thanks, Sharon. A question there from where are we? From Jane Pennington about job descriptions.
I was wondering if there was anything written about how that chair role works, or was it an evolving thing that evolved as the club went along?
No, the chair is in the RI website. It just states that the Satellite Club has a chair, because my president theoretically is NRG. So you can't have 2 presidents in the one club, I guess, technically. But to me, I am president. I know my role. It's no different. And so good question.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jane. Thanks, Sharon. Past Governor Tanya has a question about utilising President-elect training. Over to you, please, Tanya.
Hi, Sharon.
Hiya. How you going, boss?
Yeah, good. I've finished my wine. I thought I'd have a wine to support you.
Water.
Hey, I was just wondering if someone from your club would be interested in going to President-elect training. It's not something I've talked to the training people about, but that would be a start, because at least then they'd get a bit of overall knowledge. There's quite a good program at the President-elect training for the year. So I was going to flick Liz an email and just check if that was okay, if any of you were interested.
Tanya, you must have ESP because I was thinking exactly the same thing. Yes, I'd love who's ever taking over my chair because they do the same role for them to go to PETS training. Yep.
Yeah, okay. I'll flip Liz an email and send you the details because
I'm going up with Dave McKissick anyway for doing PI with Sarita and Liz.
Oh, of course you are. Yeah, you'll be able to take someone with you.
Thanks, Tanya, and thanks, Sharon. Building on that Lisa Hunt has raised here about including satellite club chairs in President-elect's training. Over to you, please, Lisa.
Yeah, look, with our satellite clubs, chairs are pretty much viewed like a president-elect, so they're always kind of swept in and included. And similarly, if there's any training set up for treasurers and secretaries, or even people interested in it, what we try and do, and even whether it's a traditional club or satellite, we're just trying to get more of them kind of exploring the training so that they're not feeling like it's a big load on them, to find out just it's a little bit more simple. So, yeah, I mean, we've done that. My own club, we have a satellite club. I was actually talking to another club today that has a satellite club as well. They're out on the Granite Belt at Stanthorpe, and similar things. So I've got a bit of a curveball for this group, though. Just a random sideboard question, Kara, if it's okay. Would you, Sharon, or any of the satellite club members ever think about nominating to be the president of the sponsor club?
Not at this stage. No, we want to stay at satellite. We don't want to be doing the paperwork because NRG does all that. Being honest, we're in a really, really lucky spot where we are, and we just want to build on what we've got, strengthen what we've got. We've only got to lose one or two members or have some conflict within our club, and that could pull us down and send us backwards. So we're really just concentrating right now on personalities and connections. So the answer to going with NRG and doing that side of it, no. But I would have to say I'd love to see other clubs in Australia, New Zealand, and in the world for their clubs to set up their own satellite club, because they've still got their own members. It's just, they're growing their membership.
Yeah.
There'll be members within their club who think, well, I could just hop over to satellite. I'm still part of, Timbuktu, and they can go to weekly, they can go to monthly, and wouldn't that be great for growth, for growing Rotary?
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
I think so. I can't believe where we were this time last year to chartering in March and to what we've achieved, and just the hands-on projects, but social things we're doing. And it's been really good to do this project with Kiro, because it made me actually realise how far we have come, and I am so proud of them.
Well done, you.
It's interesting because pride is something that we tend to try to downplay a bit, but one of the success factors that we've identified through all this is that where Rotary leaders express pride specifically in teams and individuals and whatever, the compounding positive effects not only on those people, but other audiences can be significant. So that pride's an amazing thing. So thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Sharon. Mona Howard has touched on initially liking the idea of everyone being on the board, and then has a question about 20 members. Over to you, please, Mona.
Thanks, Sharon. I think it's amazing, and I love all the slides that showed things like being flexible, reassessing continually, learning to adapt, and I think every club should be able to do that. And John Hugo actually touches on some of those things, being nimble. And Jennifer Jones is always saying, do surveys. So what you're doing should work in every club. So congratulations. I've got a typo there, but what happens when you actually get to 20 members and you're big enough to actually be a club, not a satellite club? What will you do?
I believe the feeling will be that we will still stay at Satellite, and we've discussed that already. And we just want to strengthen where we are, who we are, and just, as you say, reassess. So,
it's probably too early to ask, I suppose, if you're just starting up. But well done.
And no, thank you. But I had an idea, but I must have had a COVID brain freeze or something just there, Mina. But good question.
Because I know another one of our district governors in Victoria started up a satellite club because there were some issues, the usual sexism issues in her club, and her club has grown. I don't know what the number is now, but I think they must have become a club on their own, and the club that sponsored them has actually handed in their charter. So they didn't make any progress. So just an interesting story.
So what will happen there, the satellite club will find another sponsor club. Hopefully there's another Rotary club in that area. And their charter date will still stay the same, but they just need to find another Rotary club that will be their sponsor.
Yeah.
Because we're just a branch of another club, really. We actually chose Satellite. We chose NRG because the club that I did leave, I just wondered if they'd ever let go and want to know and have minutes, stuff like that. And nothing untoward with my last club, love them to bits. But we just wanted to go out and do our own thing. And so no one comes, not near us, but we're just out doing our own Rotary journey and making mistakes, learning. And I can't believe how far we've come in that 7 months, to be honest.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Governor Minor, and thanks, Sharon. Julie Burgess, I think, has a question. Is that a question there, Julie?
It is indeed. I put my hand up rather than type things in. Sharon, my experience of a NRG was one where, as you indicated before, they were very young members, but they had a lot of flexibility as well in terms of how they met, when they met, similarly very hands-on rather than fundraising, joined with their sponsor club to do some of the hands-on work as well. So your NRG club, is that similarly structured?
Yes, they don't meet weekly or fortnightly. They have certain projects that they have every year, and they just like to do stuff, and they don't like meetings, so they don't have a lot of meetings, which is why I haven't attended many. And does that kind of answer your question?
It does indeed. Thank you.
Yeah, they're just different, and to be honest, they don't have minutes, I believe. They don't have an agenda, whereas we are just as professional as a traditional club. And that's probably from my background, from what I've done as being past president, and I'm pretty lucky I can bring those skills to Satellite.
Great, thank you.
Welcome.
Thanks, Julie, and thanks, Sharon. I was just going to comment on something that Minor raised about satellite clubs and getting to 20 members. Once upon a time, there was a kind of compulsion for satellites to go to charter after they got to 20. That requirement is no longer there. And in fact, we have a remarkably successful satellite club, which is based in a lifestyle village in Ballina, and has done some phenomenal work on the flood recovery stuff, which has said, no way in the world. We love it being here in the support role. Don't worry about dropping any of the administrative stuff on us. This is just what we want. So it is a very much a club by club question there. But Sandy Fulcher has a question about the effect of meeting frequency. Sandy, would you like to raise that, please?
Hero. And this is probably sort of a question to other clubs here, that if anybody is meeting less than weekly, which has certainly been our traditional, and noting that Sharon has gone to monthly, which seems to be, to me, one of the big things with a satellite club. It's not a weekly. Just interested to hear if there are clubs who are not weekly and just how they've found their attendance, if they've noticed a difference. Is there anybody here who's not meeting weekly, any clubs?
We, Julie from Whittlesea in Victoria, we meet fortnightly, or the first and third Mondays of each month, and we don't meet the fifth Monday when there are 5 Mondays in the month. When I joined the club here 4 years ago, they were doing that, so I can't talk about before and after. What I can talk about is that the members very much like it like that. The challenge of it as secretary for me is the communication and making sure we have numbers of local projects, numbers of local initiatives. So the challenge is keeping everybody in the loop. And I listened to Sharon talk about her messenger group, and I've tried once, and that has given me the inspiration to try again to set one up, because that's the easiest way. I have them in other things I belong to. So to me, it's communication. And as secretary, I find the 2 meetings a month a challenge for me. The members love it. And I think it helps us keep our members, because the only reason we've lost members in 4.5 years is because they shifted out of our well away, like they're near Geelong. So yes, for us, it works well. And certainly I think the fact that we've gained 7 new members, they like the idea of the 2 a month as well. It's not, So that would be from our little club.
Thanks, Julie.
Just saying, the page is very, very social too, and some of our members live alone, and so they might be having a glass of wine or a beer or a cup of tea, and they might just ask how their day's gone or say something. So they are connected every day, and a couple don't. They've got businesses, but and the satellite notice board was a really good move for us, so that it's pinned up there, and they now know, don't comment on that. Just don't comment. Go back to the other page. And also on Messenger, you can actually push a button and pin it, so that all the comments might come down. You just pin it back up, so that on Messenger, that's the first thing they're going to see if you pin it. So just try that one too.
Okay. Was there anybody else who just had a sort of opinion about weekly versus fortnightly or monthly? Is that Lisa? Did you have your... Go, Lisa. Here, Kira, I'm just managing the questions here.
Sorry, Kira. Look, just really quickly on that. So similar to Julie, we are a first and third of the month. We've actually changed ourselves up, because we had a club down the road that was a dinner club, and they were struggling with memberships. They came to us and said, can we transfer to you? And we're a brekkie club. So what we've done is we've added in a monthly wine and cheese. So what we've done is that, and we also have a lot of people who are teachers. So the education cycle means that certain parts of the year it's harder for brekkie. So what it does is that we're actually giving variety. So every member, there's a chance for everyone to connect. We've got the online chat groups and all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, the other thing that I've seen in our Passport Club, the Gold Coast Passport Club, do it really well, is that if you're very project orientated, they use Trello. And it's a really great way when everyone's got their projects and you're organising through to really use it. And so that's something we're looking at for the new year, because we've got an increase in project activity coming on, and we just want to be smarter, because emails are doing all of our heads in right now. But yeah, so we've adapted. So we have people in that were dinner, and you got to be prepared to look at yourself and go, hang on, how do we adapt and how do we become attractive so that we're meeting the needs of everybody, and probably through that attracting some at different hours of the day or month. So yeah, that's us.
Absolutely.
Thanks,
But
Lisa.
we've got members in our satellite who wouldn't go to a traditional Rotary club. Our DG's down here, and I'm taking them to a hands-on project for a Christmas carnival that's coming. And but if I took them to a traditional club, actually, it might be a good idea to take them to one. They'd probably run a mile. It's just not who they are, and where they are now, it suits them. So that monthly as well.
Thank you for that. That was remarkable. But I'll come back to this issue of member centricity. And if you're a member-centric club, your meeting is no longer an obligation, but rather an opportunity to meet. So having a meeting every week doesn't mean people have to be there every week, but it's an opportunity. The other thing about member centricity that we haven't quite got our heads around is there are 8 different types of Rotary clubs, e-clubs, passport clubs, and those sorts of things. If we're really member centric, then we'd have 8 different types of membership available in every club, because that really enables the member to pull the bits of Rotary together that they need to be able to make a contribution. But still got to work on that one. Jane, that there wasn't a question in the midst of that comment about meeting every second week.
I'm in a really, really traditional club in Melbourne, and our members went to every second week, and they can't cope. They cannot engage. They feel really disengaged, and so they want to go back to meeting every week. But that's just because we're very old and we've been around for 40 years.
But that's listening to your members. Again, member centricity.
Yeah.
But how hidebound are you in terms of attendance and people being there?
Well, we're just going back to the trying every week. So we'll see. We really struggled over COVID, as I'm sure many clubs did. People lost, and people really haven't come back to meeting. And now we seem to be getting another wave of COVID. So it's all going to just hit again. So we've had 2 super spreader events, both at our meetings. So it hasn't been a very good track record in the last few weeks.
Doing everything right does get to be difficult sometimes. Sharon Hamilton, Assistant Governor Sharon Hamilton, you know what's coming next. Why are you in Rotary?
Because I love it. The more I put in, the more I get back. So I'm the winner here. Yeah, absolutely. Just love it. And I love meeting people and the connections that I've made, lifelong friends, and can't wait to see you all in Melbourne. Yay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hanging out for that. Yes.
It's great.
Let's have a big round of applause for Sharon on a job
Well done, Sharon. Thank you, Sharon.
Top effort there, Sharon.
Everybody.
Thank you for being with us, and hopefully we'll see you again on Membership Voice next year.